Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's Flow. So, little announcement: Find Your Flow, my online 3-week course of yoga, mindfulness, more of a transformation journey, is now open for registration, and we start next week on the 21st of February. So, the link will be flying around somewhere, or you can find it below. This week's Flow comes from the insight I had when I was driving, as usual, pretty late night, and I was thinking about kind of life's fragility, right? The fact that it's so fragile makes it so beautiful. And that goes for the same for us. We like to convince ourselves that we're not. We like to work and bring systems into our everyday life that helps us make us feel secure. When for me, this ability to soften and this ability to admit just how fragile and beautiful it is actually helps us embrace each day. So today's flow, even though it may not be necessarily easy, all I am going to ask you to do is soften. So I'm going to shut up and I'm going to ask you to start off in a child's pose, please. So coming into that child's pose, knees apart, just so we get a feeling of sinking into the hips. Bring the arms out in front of you, just lengthen through the spine. The forehead comes down on the ground. And again, soften. Just tune in. Feel the weight of the body pressing down into the mat. And in turn, just get a sensation of the mat rising up to meet you today, supporting you. Find the breath that's already present within the chest. And without changing it too much, just begin to notice it. Particularly today, we're going to focus on those exhales. Notice how the exhales come with it, that sense of softening, that sense of just grounding and being. Taking a few more rounds of breath. Lengthening it if it feels good to, if not, just finding that natural pace. And then on your next breath in, we're going to ground through the palms. Instead of coming straight up, we're going to lean towards the right hand side. So we're going to make big circles, leaning towards the right. As you scoot towards the left, drop the belly a little bit, lift the chest, and sink back towards the left hand side of the hip. Make that full circle through center, and again pulling up and over towards the right hand side. Circle across towards the left wrist, open the chest slightly, and then slowly sink it back down. Doing just a few more in this direction. You can let the head and neck kind of go loosely in whichever way feels good. But as you move, really get a sense of that rolling in towards the hips, right? Of that softening and that natural movement of the body. Good. Switching the directions. Take it over towards the left-hand side first. Swing across the top of the mat and then sinking in towards the right hip. And you might notice little tweaks on the left-hand side that weren't happening in the right. You might find that they're a little bit more open, and that's totally fine. Give me one more. The inhales pulling you forward. The exhales pressing you back. Perfect. Next time you find center, just inhale, roll the spine forward. We're going to drop the hips, lift the heart, find that first Cobra pose. Big breath in. And then breathe out, slowly bring it down. Elbows stay in towards the waist. Thinking of pulling the elbows back, use the back line of the body, lift the chest, big inhale. Exhale, that softening down, come down. One more, big breath in, using the back line to lift. Exhale, sink it down. And then tuck the toes, send the seat back towards the heels. Come into your first downward dog, so it might be the first down dog of the day. So feel free to just shake it out a little bit. Give the shoulders a roll, give the legs, check in with the hamstrings, checking in with the sides of the body. And then when you're ready, just come into stillness. And notice if that stillness contains any resistance. And if it does, think about where can you soften. Can you soften through the knees? Can you take that kind of push a little bit out of the arms and get a feeling of suspension? Get a feeling of softness in this downward dog. Take an inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And then on your next breath in, send that left leg high towards the sky. Keep the hips square for today. Push that left heel back in towards space. Take an inhale. Exhale, draw the knee in towards the nose, round through the spine, take the shoulders on top of the wrists. One more, big breath in. We're rising it up. We're lengthening the spine and the legs. The exhale, draw the knee in towards the nose, round through the spine, and step the foot in between the hands. Both feet hip width distance apart. Before we move, draw that left hip back, right hip forward, and really push down into the toes. Now from here, keep the belly in line with the thigh, and take an inhale, send your arms forward, charge that high lunge, I know. Now we're in a spot. Do we choose to tense up, or can you soften into the exhale? Can you trust the body here? Can you find the breath? Take in one more. And then on your next breath in, rise. Come up through center, high lunge, hands to hips. Again, soften. Find that buoyancy, that pliability within the legs, that security of keeping things soft. On your next breath in, raise the arms. Breath out, drop the back heel down, open it up, Virabhadrasana 2. Drop the back arm, send the left arm all the way up, lengthen. And again, keep that bend into that left knee. And instead of thinking you need to nail this pose, think about how can I soften into it. And notice how the softening, it just comes with a sense of ease, right? That effortless effort. One more big breath. And then inhale, come up through center. Turn the feet towards the right, heels in, toes out. Hands to the front and the back of the pelvis. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, push to the outside of the feet, sink low, goddess. Breathe in, pull the hands back through center, switch the arms. Left arm forward, right arm back, sink it low. A few more times. Just moving in between these goddess squats. And again, let that exhale come with a sense of softening down. Even though it might be exerting effort, we're feeling like we're just softening. We're embracing that kind of fragile nature, right? Last one, sink it low, push to the outside of the feet. Give yourself a little bit of a roll from left and right. You got this. Again, find the breath. Where's the tension creeping up? Do you need to release your shoulders a little bit here? Taking one more breath in. And then inhale to lift up and lengthen. We're going to turn back towards the left foot. Right hand comes down, left arm goes high, that twisted lunge. Good. Now listen carefully here. Ground through that right palm. We're going to turn onto the knife edge of that right foot and bring the left foot back on top of that right thigh. So we're finding a Vashisthasana with a tree variation of the legs. Keep the hips up high. Notice the breath. Notice how there's a little bit more effort. Again, can you bring your mind to a soft spot? We're going to keep the legs as they are. Take an inhale, come back in towards plank. Keep that left knee pushing out towards the left. Big breath in. Breathe out, lower all the way down to the floor. Keep the left leg as it is. Untuck the right toes. We're going to push the left knee into the ground. Take an inhale. We're not going to lift the chest too far. We're coming into a Cobra pose with tree legs. I know it's weird, right? Good. Take one more breath. Keep pushing the left knee in towards the ground. You can soften, you can come onto your elbows if there's too much compression in the lower back. One more breath in. Big breath out. And then slowly. Keep the legs as they are. We're going to roll towards that right hand side. So we're rolling on the right hip till the left knee comes down onto the ground. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, soften forward into that Janu. That was sexy, right? I know. Breathe. Take a moment of stillness. Come back into the breath. Grounding down through that left hip. Send the heart forward. One more big breath in. Big breath out. And then inhale to rise. Perfect. Left knee comes in towards you. Step the left foot over the right knee. Bring the left hand behind you. Send the right arm up. As you exhale, we twist towards the left. Hands grab hold of that left knee. Think of pulling it towards the midline as you twist and send your gaze towards the left shoulder. 2 breaths. Every inhale, finding length in the spine. Every exhale, softening into the twist, not even forcing. Perfect. Now, as you breathe in, just square off the chest. Take the right hand behind you, lift the hips up, push into that left heel, come back into a downward facing dog. If you want to take a vinyasa, feel free. For me, I'm going to find stillness. And again, I'm going to find that softness. And I'm going to invite that softness in. That effortless effort, no pressure for it to look or feel a certain way. Right hand side. Right leg's going to go high. Keep the hips square. Take a breath in. Breathe out. Draw the knee in towards the nose. Roll the spine. Come forward. One more. Big breath in. Send that leg up high. Exhale, knee in towards the nose, rounding through the spine, step the foot in between the hands. So square the hips off already, right hip back, left hip forward. Ground through the feet, belly button in, core nice and tight, arms forward. Charge that lunge. Keep equal space between the front and the back of the throat. So now we're in effort. Can you soften? Can you bring just a little bit more acceptance to this? On your next breath in, rise, come up. Hands can go wherever you want. Find that buoyancy, that pliability. And trust the kind of movements of the body, right? We are always in constant flux, so getting used to these kind of niggles and wriggles will always help. Good. Arms high on the breath in. Breath out, drop the back heel, come down, warrior 2. Nice. So sinking low into that left knee. Keep the tailbone tucked under. Drop the left palm. Send the right arm all the way up, lengthening. Again, softening. So softening through that left elbow. Little to no weight on the back arm. Taking one more breath. And then as you inhale, come up through center. Turn the feet towards the left-hand side. Heels in, toes out. Just like before, one arm forward, one at the back of the pelvis. Big breath in. Breathe out, bend the knees, push to the edge of the feet. One arm comes forward, one comes back. The inhale is that pulling in of energy and up. That transition of the arms, the exhale coming down into the sea. A few more times. Connect the movement with the breath. And again, just find that softness. Doesn't have to look like anything. Just be with that sensation of moving. One more. Nice and slow. The next time you drop in towards that goddess, hold it there. Bring the hands towards the knees, tuck the tailbone, take a breath in. As you breathe out, drop your right shoulder in, bring your gaze towards your left. Find a nice little twist in the spine. You can still add movement, a soft sway from side to side if it feels good. The inhale, we pull up through center. Exhale, opposite side, left shoulder comes in, gaze towards the right. One deep breath. Inhale, come up through center. And then exhale, release to rise. Take a breath. Take a minute. Turn towards the right foot. We're going to pick up the left heel. Bring the left hand down. The right arm goes all the way up. So lengthening up. Take a moment there, set the stability in the left palm. We're going to turn to the knife edge of that left foot. We're going to bring the right foot all the way up into tree pose, stability. Right arms reaching. Squeeze the outside of the right glute to feel the inside of that right thigh. Can you soften? Even in this effort, one more breath. Keep the tree with the legs, drop it down, plank pose with a tree. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower down. You can drop your knee first if it feels good. Come down towards the ground. Keep that right knee pushing into the floor. Inhale, lift the chest up, Cobra. It can stay low. Remember, we're thinking about pushing the knee down.
opening through that hip. If it does feel good to lengthen, feel free, but try and get rid of that compression in the lower back by pulling the mat towards you. Good. One more deep breath here. Then as you breathe out, bring the chest towards the floor, lean in towards that left hip, keep that tree pose, roll all the way onto the glutes, gaze towards the left leg, breathe in. Breathe out, fold forward, come low, Janu on the left. I know, I love that transition. And again, forget about how straight the leg is. Forget about how straight the spine is. Notice how much more acceptance comes with softening, with accepting our body, its fragileness, its softness. And if we move with it, how much more empowering that feels. On your next inhale, rise, come up. Pull that right knee in towards you. Right foot over the left knee, right hand behind you, left arm high on the breath in. Using the exhale to twist towards the right, hug that right knee in towards you, and send your gaze, say, over your right shoulder, but even if it doesn't, and you're on a diagonal, no judgments. Using the exhale to maybe deepen the twist. And then on your next breath in, come forward. Good. Coming in towards a seat or a shavasana, whichever's more comfortable. A nice short, soft flow for you today. So wherever you are, once again soften. From the crown of the head to the tips of the toes. And as you sit or lay here, just think about what you can take out of this quick practice into life outside of the mat. Think about how you can soften in these times of effort or stress. Think about how much space that gives you to move and breathe. You can stay here for as long as you need to. Wishing you all a beautiful rest of the day. Namaste.